During this class, we are going to apply what we already know about the middlewares on Laravel. For this, we are going to create a custom middleware that is going to do a simple stuff. It is going to add a signature in the headers of every response of our RESTful API. Let's proceed, and in the way we are going to learn some new stuff. To create a middleware, we just need to use the PHP rdesign command, make middleware. The middleware is going to be called signature middleware. Now, if we go to our code, we can find our new middleware in the app http middleware folder. There is the signature middleware. So this middleware is going to be very simple. We are going to add the signature of our RESTful API with a custom header in the response. So we are acting over the response. That means that we are going to act after obtain the response. So it is an after middleware. So we just need to assign the value of the responses obtained from the other middlewares and the controllers at the end, and then act over that response. So we are going to add a custom header. So we just need to access the headers attribute from the response, and this method is going to receive the name of the header and the value of this. So the name is going to be variable, and the value is going to be always the name of our application, so we can obtain it directly from the configuration file. As the header name is a variable, it means that we should receive an attribute or a parameter in our handle method. So we just need to add this. We are going to add a default name for this parameter. That is going to be xName. We are using the x dash at the beginning because it's a very good practice when we are adding custom headers to our response. Of course, we don't have to do this, but it's a very good practice and where we have to follow the best practices possible. So once we added the header to the response, we just need to return the response. And we have now completely created our middleware. The next step is to register the middleware. Every middleware is registered in the kernel file. There we have two different sections. We have the global middlewares and we have the middleware groups. The global middlewares are executed every time on every request, independently if it is web, API, or any other kind of routes. And the middleware groups are executed depending on the group what we are using. There is a limitation from the global middlewares, and that is that basically those middlewares cannot be named middlewares. The named middlewares are the middlewares that we have in the root middleware attribute. As you can see, for example, in the API middleware group, we have two named middlewares, the throttle and the bindings. And in the web, we can use named middlewares as well, but unfortunately, we cannot do this here. Well, we have to add this new middleware, the signature middleware that we recently created, for every possible response in our system. But this middleware receives a parameter, and unfortunately, again, we only can send parameters for the named middlewares. So That means that we cannot use it as a global middleware because we need to have a named middleware at the end. So it means that we have to use it directly here. And because we want to use it directly in all the responses of our project, independently if it is API or web, basically we just need to add this in several groups, in this case web and API. If you have any other group, well, you probably need to add this there as well. Now, let's register our new middleware. We are going to call this signature. Here we have this, and we can use it now by the name. The question now is where to use this middleware. Well, let's think a little about that. This middleware needs to add a new custom header for the response. So that means that this middleware needs to act over the response and over the modifications that any other middleware does. So because it is an after middleware, there is not any problem if we add this at the beginning of the list, because it is going to leave the other middlewares to be executed. And if any of those middlewares build a response, it is going to automatically add the header independently of the kind of response. So it is a good idea in this case to add this middleware at the first position of these lists. In that way, this middleware is going to leave the other middlewares to act, perform any kind of modification, and to be executed. Because, for example, if we add this after the threshold middleware, if the threshold middleware fails in some way, we are not going to add the signature, and that is not what we want. We really want to add the signature in all the possible responses as we can. So, again, it is a very good idea to use it in the first position. Now, we need to send, preferably, a parameter to this middleware that is the header name. And it is very easy, in fact. We just need to use a colon and pass the value of the parameter. In this case, we just have one parameter, so we just need to send a new name. Let's call this X application name. In this way, the new header is going to have X application name as the index and not only X name that is the default value. Let's verify now how it is working. So if we go and try, for example, to obtain the list of users, we can see in the headers how the X application name has been automatically included with the name of our project, that is RESTful API. If we try to perform any different request, like for products, again, there is the header, and it is going to work almost for all the possible responses that we have in our RESTful API, and only with one middleware. It is a big helpful feature for the middlewares because we are automatically executing this from every request. So, we are done now. See you in the next class.